Hey, how y'all doing? Back again on Chop It Up with Coco. Hope everybody's safe again with the coronavirus mess going on, and hope everybody doing well. Hope y'all enjoyed the high little league career of Coco Blaylock, the people that inspire me and things like that. So I want to say thank you to the ones that subscribed to the episodes. I hope you enjoyed them. Down the road, when I get done with the entire little league, high school, junior college, and pro football one, I want to come back to it if we can and bring some folks on and talk about some of the things that I talked about and bring more to what it is I talked about. So with that being said, again, hope everybody's being safe. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Chop It Up with Coco, and subscribing and liking it. Please continue to subscribe to my YouTube page and enjoy it. So now I'm going to get into the second part of my career. I'm done with the little league. Hopefully y'all got a kind of first-hand view of how things were with me, my family, and people that inspired me. And I told you before that my page is going to change. Some people going to change. It's going to change the importance of a person as I went through my career. People in my life affected me different ways at different times. This next episode is going to be about my high school career. For me, this is going to be the most important. For me, this is going to be the most personal. For me, it's going to be the most touching. So if I get a little choked up, which I don't think I will because I'm good now. It's been so long, but I'm definitely going to hit some points and talk about some things that happened to me through my high school career that really, when I say really, from the bottom of my heart, made me and molded me to who I became in my rest of my career in football. So with that being said, let's get right to it. I started my high school football career in Zion, Illinois at Zion Benton High School. Shout out to the ZBs. I talked about Little League being in Zion and things like that. But now I want to talk about high school, where I started. My first 2 years of high school was at Zion Benton High School in Zion, Illinois. And I remember as a freshman having probably one of the best coaches at that time. My dad was my favorite best coach because he was my dad, and dad was the bomb. But the next coach that really I've never forgotten, I hope he's alive again. I always say that because I don't want to be wrong. If a person's alive or a person's RIP, I don't know what better way to shout him out if they're here or not. So if he is alive, I want him to know, man. I'm going to look him in the face, man. If he's alive, Coach Cloth, Don Cloth. He was my first coach that really molded me and made me respect him. And let me tell you why. I'm going to talk a little bit about him. He had some of the best freshman football teams, I think, ever in the nation, if you ask me. I know the class before me with Wayne, I take that back, with Wayne Patton, Eddie McKinney, John Austin. Man, there were so many greats that played ahead of me. But that freshman team, I remember they went undefeated, and me and Super Coop and Fred, all the guys, they molded us, because that freshman team, that's probably was the best freshman team that I had ever in my life seen. But let me talk a little bit about Coach Cloth, Don Cloth, and then I'll talk about that team. But Coach Cloth was he was a nonsense guy. He really reminded me of anybody that knew Coach. He reminded me of Bill Belichick. What I mean by that is he looked like him actually a little bit. He was no nonsense. He was straight up, like, big white guy. Didn't play no games. He was very brutally honest. He didn't say little or nothing, but he had the best freshman teams. I guarantee you, his freshman record or record as far as games won, man, it was insane. Because I know, I think the 2 years before I got to high school, I think the freshman team went undefeated. The team that got to high school with Coco Patton and Eddie McKinney and all the monsters, they went undefeated, and they was beating everybody like 60-0. And then we came in my freshman class we went undefeated and we was beating everybody the same way. But the thing about Colt, man, he was real, man. He was one of them guys that, he told you exactly what it was. Like, hey, you're good at this position because I think this is best for you. He was a team guy, but Colt was the real deal because he wasn't taking nothing from nobody. So you wasn't telling him what to do. He had the wild hair. He was a big old dude. I want to say he was about, 6 feet, about 250, 230, but he was solid, swole, quiet, but he was a really, really, really motivational coach. And I'm so glad that I started my career really with a man like that. So shout out, man, and major props to Colt, man. He molded a lot of us. So a lot of y'all that came through him, y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Shout out to that man. He molded us to be great. Hugged us when we did bad. But he brought the best out of me and a lot of those guys I saw with my own eyes. So shout out to him, man. I hope he's still alive. If he is, man, come on. And I just want to shout you out, Colt. But again, like I was talking about that team, man, all the freshman teams that I had seen was undefeated. Like, I'm talking about beating the hell out of everybody. Libertyville, Warren, Stevenson, like, they stood no chance. And the records are there. I was looking through one paper back in the day, and I remember I seen that team was beating the hell out of people. But the thing about that was this. The team that I was on as well, we always tried to get that game to happen. We tried to get it to where that sophomore team that was probably one of the best teams that I had ever seen, like straight up and down, was that the sophomore team, which was freshman's first of Zion Benton. We wanted to play them, man. I remember we were supposed to set up a game. It was like a powerhouse game, the freshman team against the sophomore team. We wanted that so badly. A lot of the guys that I grew up with, we just shied down from nothing. Like, we always wanted to beat the best, and they were the best, and we was good. We thought we was the best. But after I looked at really what they accomplished, I want to say that we would have gave them a game. They wouldn't have beat us like they beat everybody else that they beat. But to be honest, I'm always keeping it real because that's me. I think they would have got the best of us. It would have been a good game, but I think that team, man, that team, like I said, man, I can run down the names. Starting with Eddie McKinney was the ringleader of that squad. Coco Patton, Torettis Griffin, John Austin, man, there's so many guys. I know a lot of y'all don't want to miss nobody, but those are the main ones that stood out on that team that was insane, and they all went on to have a really good high school career. But with that being said, the freshman team that I was on, man, I want to start with a guy and talk about a guy that meant a lot to me, man. Never really said much, but he was one of the guys that pushed me like I wanted to beat him in everything in the world. You know what I mean? And I want to start off by talking with a guy that y'all all gonna know him. His name is Brian Cooper. Brian Cooper was AKA Super Coop. Super Coop. When I say he was super, this boy was super. Coop, when we was coming into high school as a freshman, I remember this, man, and this bothered me when I was a kid, but I got over it. When I was a kid coming into high school, I was fast. Like I said, everybody where I grew up, we were all fast. But I was embarrassed, and I was shy, and I was scared to go lift weights. And my daddy used to get after me every day. He used to be pissed off, but he used to get after me. And some of you young men going into high school may understand and relate where I was coming from. I was fast, but I wasn't touching no weights. I was like, I don't need weights, but I didn't know no better. But the thing about Coop, man, he was so strong. Lord have mercy, he was so strong. The boy put that 225 before even getting to high school, and he was doing it just as much as the varsity people. And you couldn't believe it. Let me mold you about how this man looked like. He was built real nice, real muscular, strong, fast, extremely athletic. And I'm going to tell you right now, I mean this with all my heart, man. He was Ray Lewis. And some of y'all think I'm exaggerating and trying to give people more props than they deserve. But anybody from Zion that knew Brian Cooper, a.k.a. Super Coop, he was Ray Lewis, motivational, talked and smart, played middle linebacker, played quarterback. He smacked anything coming through the middle. I seen him hurt more people than I've seen anybody get hurt in football. And it was Brian Cooper, a.k.a. Super Coop. And he was cold in basketball. The boy had a hoop in his room, in his front yard. And I first played basketball with him when we was in middle school. I couldn't understand why he could not miss. Like, I'm talking about, he made me want to play basketball. Like, he would come to the games and probably miss 2 shots out of 50. He never missed, but he had a hoop in his yard, and I never knew it. One day went through his spot, man, and he's out there shooting. He never missed. He was like Larry Bird, man, and he molded me into wanting to play basketball. I learned how to shoot because of Brian Cooper. So, man, if you're alive, my nigga, shout out to you, man. You really was a big part of my success as a kid playing football with you in youth football, man. And when we got to high school, we kept moving up. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on. But, man, Brian Cooper was one of the best players, most physical, strongest. He should have been in the NFL, man. That's one product that we missed that should have been in the NFL, man. Like I said, super strong, super fast, extremely athletic. And like I said, a lot of these guys were 2 times, 3 times better than me. I was growing. I didn't become what I became until I got to high school and college, etc. But just giving the props to these guys that deserve these props, man. That's just the way I'm made. I can't tell no other way. So with that being said, man, I wanted to give them major shots out of the Coop, man, because like I said, we'd have played that sophomore team that was off the charts, man. It'd have been a lot because of him, because like I said, we was physical, man, and we didn't care how big or strong or how somebody was. It's just the way we grew up in Zion, man. To me, we wasn't afraid of nothing, man. We'd play anybody, anywhere, do anything, because that's just the way we was. So with that being said, man, shout out to Brian Cooper, man, a.k.a. Super Coop, man. Major love, man, in the heart for you, man. Another guy that was very successful on that freshman team, man, guy by the name of Fred Knox. Man, Fred was in high school, going to high school as a freshman. He might have been one of the fastest, probably, he'll photo finish anybody. I don't care if he was a track star. Fred was every bit about 6'1", 6'2", probably about 230, 240, 250 going into high school, and he was fast as hell. That big, that fast, and I am not exaggerating. Anybody from Zion that know what I'm talking about, Fred Knox, that nigga was fast. We had Fred Knox, shout out to, Robert Williams, Meatball little brother. Man, we had some stars, man. We had some people that can really, really play. But I think, like I said, the one thing that everybody tried to do with Coach Cloth, we wanted to have that game. His freshman team that went undefeated and beat everybody 64 to nothing, and then our freshman team, we did the same thing. So there was usually what happens every year in Zion, if I'm not mistaken, they always had the sophomore team play the freshman team, especially then. But for some reason, I don't know why, that game never happened, man. So with that being said, man, I just remember us supposed to have that game and never had it. And now I know I want the guys that's alive, that's know what I'm talking about. Man, let's debate that. Let's come on here on my page down the road when we get done with all this, and let's debate what team would have won. After looking at the stats and talking with a few people, because what I did, I reached out to some folks after 20, 30 years, man. That felt so good to talk with some of you folks, and it touched my heart. But me, I like to say, I had a great memory, but I want facts. I like to speak about facts. I don't want to be, not sure. I want facts. But after speaking with some folks, man, it really touched my heart to hear from y'all. It really touched my heart to hear how my daddy influenced y'all. It really touched my heart to hear that y'all doing well, and we older now, living life. But it really touched my heart, man. So shout out to those guys that I spoke with, because like I said, I spoke with them in indefinite. So with that being said, that game should have happened. It never happened. We don't know, but we can debate it. But after looking at them stats and looking who y'all had on that sophomore team, I got to come to the resolution that, man, y'all would have gave us the business. It would have been a good one, but y'all would have been close, because I would have did what I had to have done. Big Fred would have did it, Big Rob, but y'all would have had to deal with Coop, and I don't know who Coop couldn't deal with. So coming through that middle, y'all had to go to the sidelines. That's the only way y'all had it. But Coop would have smacked everything coming through the middle. But shout out to Coop, and shout out to Fred Knox, shout out to Robert and all those guys I played with as a freshman in Zion, Benton, because that's where it started, man. So for the rest of my life, man, y'all boys will always be remembered for that. One person I want to talk about, man, that just off memories, man, always stayed true to the game, always was real cool. There's about maybe 4 white cats, and please don't take it the wrong way. When I say white cats, I say white boys. They're my brothers. Like, there was no color where I grew up, and I've never seen color. I never will see color. There was a guy, man, I want to talk about a little bit. I just remember him, and I want to shout out all the linemen that played football growing up. Y'all never got no props. Linemen, y'all know what I'm talking about. Linemen, y'all never got no props. We scored all the touchdowns. We was the glory. We was the man. We got the buzzer. We got everything in the world. We got all the interviews. We got all the clippings. But linemen never got no props growing up playing football. Even to this day, linemen don't get props. So linemen, all them big boys in the world, we can't be good without y'all. I'll tell you right now, I played on a few teams that had a line that wasn't very good. And you go from 1,500 yards to 500 yards just like that. So shout out to all the linemen that never get no credit. Y'all the real deal, and guys that were great running backs. Some could make it happen, but some need that line. I needed that line. Even though I was the type of back that made you miss, shout out to y'all, man, for being who y'all was. I want to talk about a guy that rolled with us since we was little. We called him White Boy John. John Austin. Everybody know who he is. Shout out, John. John was a big kid too. Back when we was little, John was about 6'1", 6'2", and around 250. Very athletic. And I remember this, man, makes me laugh. He was about a year older or two, but it makes me laugh. I remember when he first started hanging out with us in the hood, because he was one of the only white boys in the hood hanging out with us. And John wasn't scared of none of us. He was cool with all of us. He played tight end at first because he had some speed. He was big. He was the biggest white boy, biggest cat on our team. But John was cool in the fan. John was fast. They ended up letting him play tight end at first, and then they moved him to the line. But shout out to John, man. I know that like with myself, the unique thing about John, man, I want to talk about is that, like, my family, the Blair family, I had brothers who I looked up to for football and sports. You know, the Patton family, everybody had older brothers to look up to and learn. You know, that real bad McKinney family, they had people to look up to. Even Terrell, they had people to look up to. What I liked about John, man, was that John came in our hood, came out, hung out with us, played ball, did everything with us, and that was by choice. He didn't live in that area. He came by choice, but we accepted him in open arms. It was no, you know what I mean? We ain't do that. We were none of us. One thing I can say about the guys I grew up with, we was raised the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like, color didn't matter to us. We never judged nobody. We never said this person can come on the block because they was Chinese or black or white or Hispanic. We didn't roll like that. If you was with us, you was with us. And that's one thing I love about where I grew up in my era. Man, we had so much love for each other, brothers, you know, hug you and go from there. With that being said, man, I just remember him never having nobody really to lead him and show him how to get to where he got to get. So he just fell on the boys from the hood, man. So, man, shout out to John, man, white boy John Austin, man. He rolled with us for so long, man. And he was somebody that I remember. And there's very few, but he's somebody I remember when I was little. One thing I want to talk about, man, is about Zion. There was a best way to describe this was it was a big bowl of talent. When you hear people that's gonna come make comments on my page or come out and let's interview and talk about it, there was so much talent in Zion, man. It was a big old bowl of talent, man. And I was talking with somebody, man, and again, I don't want to say no names on this end, but it's a legit source, and this kind of stuff kind of breaks my heart, but it's real. I was talking with a friend, and remember the guy I talked about in my earlier segment, a guy by the name of Wayne Patton, who was the man to me. You know, he was the first one that did it growing up. Shout out to Wayne Patton. If you're alive, man, if you so, come on, and I want you to know that you meant a lot to a lot of folks. But I remember him being that first state champion in Zion, and I that right there was so important to me because I wanted that. I was there when he did it. I was there that he shocked everybody. I was there because with Zion, you don't be state champ. You don't win nothing. You know what I'm saying? Where we come from, we used to being at the bottom. We used to not having nothing. So when somebody from Zion so small do something so special, the whole wide world need to know. So, you know, shout out to Wayne with that, man. I just know talking with somebody, because we got to talking about all the greats from Zion. Like I said, that big-ass bowl of talent Zion had, man, was insane. And I remember I was talking with somebody, man. They said, reliable source said that the reason why Wayne did them, from what I understand, please don't quote me, could be wrong, but I just want to, just on my heart to say, I heard that Wayne had which I don't doubt it because he was the real deal, had a full ride scholarship to go run track at Michigan. And if you knew the Patton family, man, they were so family close, so family oriented, so family, they was going to live together for the rest of their lives, in my opinion. That's my opinion, because they were so close, man. And I heard the reason why he didn't go to Michigan to run track is because he was worried about the financial ends of moms and dads